WPIX presents a high school football holiday special. It's the New Rochelle Huguenots versus the Iona Gales. And a very good morning and a happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I'm Spencer Ross for WPIX Sports, along with Aubrey Lewis, and today the traditional get-together. And Aubrey, who would have thought just a little while ago yesterday you and I'd be standing out here without raincoats, rain hats, and without our coats on? Turned into a beautiful day.
It sure did, Spence. I was ready for it today. I brought my rubbers, my raincoat, and my umbrella.
Now this game, the traditional Thanksgiving Day get-together, 9 years in a row, Iona had come up with a victory. Last year, the victory went to New Rochelle High School, and now this year, New Rochelle, #1 ranked team in the state, and they are undefeated. Quite a performance.
What a turnaround. New Rochelle has done it all this year. Great passing, great running, crisp blocking. It should be great, but watch Iona Prep. They're always tough. Hank Margada never gives up.
And Paul Ryan's done a heck of a job at New Rochelle. Aubrey's going to head over right now to get set for the introductions of the players in today's game between New Rochelle High School and Iona Prep.
Hey, I have an opportunity to introduce to you the players, the men down in the pits. Iona Prep, please.
Jerry Garvey, senior, flanker captain. Jim Borgia, senior, offensive guard, linebacker, captain. Byron Oley, senior, linebacker, tight end, captain. Move up, man. Rick Versace, senior, offensive tackle, linebacker. Chris Pope, senior, split end.
Jimmy Sauer, senior, defensive back. We're gonna do it, baby. We're gonna do it.
Hey, what are you?
Chris Barrera, senior, defensive back.
Senior?
Senior.
Great. Okay.
Mike Manueli, senior, defensive halfback. Jim Mormon, defensive end, senior. Jeff Tufano, senior, defensive tackle. Jim Clifford, senior, linebacker. Greg Ricardo, senior, guard, clockmaker.
Clockmaker.
Ryan Cleary, senior, quarterback.
Good.
Chris Enoch, senior, tackle. Bill Sweeney, senior, fullback. Doug Keegan, senior, offensive center. Hank Cronin, senior, defensive back.
And here's a coach, Hank Margada. Hank, it should be a great one today. Another way. Generally, they're trying to get you.
That's it. This time they're #1. We're going to go after them.
Okay, introduce your coaches.
Yes, John Slocum, my offensive coordinator.
John, great.
Rod Sajazi, my defensive coordinator. Don Nowicki handles the receivers.
Great.
And JV, our trainer.
Forever. Okay, now let's go to the #1 team in the state of New York, New Rochelle.
Weldon Turner, linebacker, senior. Greg Green, tight end, senior. Kyle Whitfield, senior, tailback. Glenn Zorka, senior, quarterback.
They're all smiling.
Dale O'Donnell, senior, defensive back.
Steve McLean, tailback, senior. Carl McCutcheon, defensive tackle, senior.
Michael Tomac, linebacker, senior.
Okay.
Ray Barreras, fullback, senior. Pierre Monger, defensive back, senior.
Stephen Vallejo, offensive end, senior.
Joe Stump, offensive tackle, senior.
Okay, Joe.
Albert Zeese, tackle, senior.
Move up, man.
James Monroe, right defensive tackle, senior.
Marty Benedictus, left linebacker, senior.
Stuart Lord, guard. Grannon's on 9th win.
Great.
Mike Kateri, linebacker, senior. Pete Sutherland, defensive end, senior.
Ricky Harrison, junior, safety.
James Temple, the fourth, senior, safety.
The fourth. Okay.
Clifton Scott Trent, linebacker, senior.
Okay.
Reggie Franklin, defensive back, senior.
Joe Canzanella, center, junior.
Keith Stirrup, offensive guard, senior.
Right. Okay, Joe.
Wayne Watson, defensive back, senior.
Hustle, man.
Sam Manning, defensive back, junior.
Rich Wiggins, quarterback, senior.
Don Casale, and senior. Frank Austin, right halfback, senior. Tiger Flowers, fullback, junior. Donald Barron, defensive tackle, junior. Bill Gaines, defensive end, senior.
Okay, and Paul Ryan, well, #1 in the state. Big one today.
Well, we won't be one unless we win this one.
Okay, introduce your coaches.
Ricky Cohn,
How you doing?
Hi, Rick.
Ollie Henry,
Holly.
Ted Murphy,
Ted Murphy.
Jim Relaford,
Hey, Jim.
Tom
Hi, Tom. Hi. My man.
League, and the
Okay.
trainer Joe McKinnon.
Fine. Well, it's a good one. Good to see you #1. Let's see what you can do today.
Okay, hope
Fine.
we have a good ball.
Okay. Well, now you've seen the men in the pits. Now we're going to have our national anthem. Kenny Nichols singing our national anthem.
Will everybody please rise for the playing of our national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was Kenny Nichols, I senior at New Rochelle. Kenny, you did it, baby. Okay, up to Spencer Ross.
Okay, Aubrey Lewis, so we're getting set for the opening kickoff right here at Mount Vernon Memorial Field in Mount Vernon, New York. As the band leaves the field from New Rochelle High School, Jim Wayne and John F. Samuel are the directors, and of course we're always happy to be here every Thanksgiving morning for this game, which is the traditional get-together between these two clubs from Westchester County, who are kind of just right down the block from each other. New Rochelle High School going against Iona Prep. And I remember back when I started doing these football games, Marty Glickman, who brought you these games for so many years, said, Spencer, they used to get 10,000 people out to see this game every year. Oh, you had bad weather last year. The year before, the teams were kind of mediocre. And now I'm seeing it. And let me tell you, I believe it. And it's great to be here on this Thursday morning, Thanksgiving Day, 1977. And right now, we're getting set for the opening kickoff. New Rochelle High School, undefeated. They have won 8. They have not been beaten on the season. Iona Prep on the year has come through with a record of 5 victories. They have been beaten 3 times, but they are a tough ball club. Their coach, Hank Margata, in his 5th year, he feels his team does have an opportunity to win this ball game. The referee today is Tom Grant, the head linesman Jack Leonardo, the umpire Ernie Altieri, and the field judge is Butch Domser. And getting set to kick the ball off right now for Iona Prep High School, as they will kick off to start this ball game. Is Rick Versace. Versace kind of does it all for this Iona Gale football team. And the 2 men back deep now for New Rochelle are number 22, Frank Alston, and 41, Calvin Whitfield. And we are set now for the opening kickoff as Rick Versace will boot it. Fumbled away by New Rochelle. That's Ray Barreras, but Barreras brings it up over the 20 to about the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 coming up for the undefeated New Rochelle Huguenots.
And on that one, Barreras was looking up high. It's a very light sky today. There's an overcast, and when you look up there, that ball comes out, looks like a dark spot. He misjudged it a little bit and then came at it big.
1st and 10 as we get ready now. On the 30-yard line for New Rochelle High School, Glenn Gawkis, number 9, is the quarterback. The deep back right now is number 41, Calvin Whitfield. And the other halfback is Steve McLean. And Gawkis can throw and pitches a beauty out into the flat, complete. As the pass was taken in by number 84, Craig Green, has already scored 5 touchdowns this season.
Craig's got real good hands, Bench. The one thing that he does well, he runs his patterns well. As you saw in that play, he went to the sidelines, made his little breakout, caught the ball, and then took his gain. The gain on that play was somewhere in the vicinity of about 6 yards.
So we'll call it a 2nd and 4 on the completion to Craig Green. He caught the touchdown pass in New Rochelle's victory over White Plains. An 8-0 ball game. The New Rochelle lineup: left end, number 85, Don Casale, 75, Joe Stump, the left tackle, 61, Keith Sturp is the left guard. The center, Joe Canzanella. Right guard, Weldon Turner. Al Bruzis is the right tackle. And right up the middle on the carry is Steve McLean. And he is hit after picking up about 3. It'll bring up a 3rd and 1 now for New Rochelle.
I'll tell you, right at this point, Iona Prep is digging in there. It looks like Hank Margada has his boys, and that it looks like a 5-3 or 5-2 actually, and they're moving. They're doing a lot of stunning.
3rd and short yardage coming up right here. Craig Green goes wide to the right. Moving in motion is Frank Alston. And on the handoff, right up the middle, Ray Barreras, and he is whacked back. A fumble, and the ball will go over as it's recovered by the Iona Gales.
Good move on the part of Al Bruzis, a 6'1", 200-pound senior who actually hit him just as he came to that line of scrimmage. Did not have the ball. It's a muddy field, so we may have some fumbles today. Iona Prep has their chance.
So Iona Prep, the underdog, very much so in this ball game, takes over the ball in excellent field position on the New Rochelle 47. Brian Cleary, number 14, is the quarterback. Going out wide to the left side, 33 is Chris Pope. The deep backs are Bill Sweeney and Mike Ferry. And Cleary fires over the middle, incomplete, intended for the number 1 receiver on this Iona ball club, number 33, Chris Pope.
Chris again is 6 feet tall, 180 pounds. He's a senior, number 1 receiver. He could be a real asset to Prep. It looks like both teams want to pass the ball.
And both teams have the ability to throw it. Brian Cleary missed a good deal of this season. In fact, Dave Marin did a super job filling in for him. In fact, he was the quarterback in all 5 of Iona Prep's victories. Cleary is the quarterback today. High formation. Bill Sweeney and Mike Ferry, the running backs. And on the handoff, it goes to Bill Sweeney, a senior, 5'8", 180 pounds, and he gets down to about the 42-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 5.
Weldon Turner is the kind of athlete that time he made the tackle. He's the kind of athlete can hit and move both ways. So he's going to be a real asset on that left side of New Rochelle's line.
He also plays on the offensive line at the right guard position. Here's Cleary on the keeper and gets down to about the 40-yard line, down to about the 39 before he is hit and spilled by Don Barron, the left tackle. So it'll bring up a 3rd now. Check it, a 4th down and 2 for the Iona Gales.
And on that one, number 90, Mike Tomac, he's 6 feet, 180-pound senior. A lot of seniors on this New Rochelle team had some experience last year. Looked good on that play.
Rick Versace once again goes back to punt. Frank Alston is deep on 4th down for the Iona Gales. And Versace gets off a good one. That's Alston on the 5, and he is hit and spilled, making it about the 9-yard line, and it'll be 1st down coming up right now, deep in its own territory for the New Rochelle Huguenots. With 8 minutes, 38 seconds left in this first quarter, we remain scoreless.
Mike Lammers looked good that time getting downfield. He was actually hit, knocked down, came up and made the tackle. Good second effort.
So New Rochelle will have to put it into play from its own 9-yard line. The quarterback is Glenn Zaukas, Steve McLean 31, Calvin Whitfield 41 are the running backs. Moving in motion is Frank Alston. And Calvin Whitfield takes the handoff, gets over the 10 to about the 12-yard line. A pickup of, we'll call it just 2. We'll say to about the 11-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8 coming up.
Calvin Whitfield's the kind of man who can break it all the way. Good, tight athlete.
Had a look there at the Iona Prep bench. They're the underdogs in this football game. We're scoreless. And the favorites, New Rochelle, coached by Paul Ryan, have the ball on their own 11-yard line. It's a 2nd down and 8. Glenn Zaukas, he's thrown 12 touchdown passes this season as Alston goes in motion. Over the intercepted, Versace. Rick Versace, the right side linebacker, with the interception, and the second turnover sets up excellent field position for the Iona Gales.
What a job Rick Versace did that time. Sally made his move. He saw it, threw the ball. He looked it all away and got it. Now they're in good shape, down on about the 17-yard line, 18-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Iona Gales. Versace, the president of the senior class, quite a young man, and on the pitch out, down to about the 14-yard line goes Mike Ferry, a junior running back. He's 5'8", 185 pounds. It'll bring up 2nd down, and we'll call it 7 now for Iona.
And Wendell Turner was in on the tackle. Wendell Turner, number 53, will be in a lot of tackles. He's the kind of man who can be hit, move off his blocker, and go to the ball. Good nose hit.
78 Bill Gaines, 68 Don Barron, 79 Carl McCutcheon, and 63 Jim Kid Monroe, the front four for New Rochelle, and they play good defense. On the handoff this time, it goes to Angelo Mandanero, and Mandanero is down to about the 12 or 13-yard line, and right in the middle of the pileup once again was Weldon Turner.
Weldon again. He's the kind of man. He's there. He will be there. That was a good trap block up the middle. Weldon made his move well, and it came to the ball. Of course, that's his job. He's playing that middle linebacker position, so he's actually plugging up all those holes. Now he goes to the line. 3rd down,
and we'll call it 3 right here for Iona as they try and get on the board. And on the handoff, the ball fumbled away, and it's recovered as Brian Cleary couldn't get that ball into the stomach of Mike Ferry. And on the fumble, it is recovered by New Rochelle, and they'll take over.
No question about it. Weldon.
And right here, we're going to get a timeout with 6 minutes, 7 seconds left in the first quarter. The score, New Rochelle nothing, and Iona Prep nothing. Spencer Ross along with Aubrey Lewis. While we were away, Calvin Whitfield went 16 yards around the right end for a 1st down for New Rochelle, their biggest offensive play thus far. And it is now a 1st and 10 from the 26 for undefeated New Rochelle.
New Rochelle is doing the thing that they have to do. They have to establish some running game prior to getting that good passing game in order. Caucus cannot rely strictly on the outside pass and the down post passing. He has to get that off-tackle play going, and Whitfield is the man that has to do it for him.
1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Glenn Zaukas is your quarterback. Your running backs are Ray Barreras, 32, and 41, Calvin Whitfield. And on the handoff, Calvin Whitfield hit right at the line of scrimmage by the middle of that Iona Gale line. Number 74, Jeff Tofano, who's been a big surprise. He's 6'3", 230 pounds, and he was a young man they really didn't expect to get that much out of this year, and they have.
No, Hank McGuire said that one of the things he did well was he learned to move his body. At 6'3", 230, he's a big boy. And what he had to do is get strong, so he's grown to his strength, and I think he's going to be a real tough move for him over there on that left tackle position.
We'll call it 2nd and 10, still from the 26-yard line for New Rochelle. 5 minutes left in the scoreless first quarter. Zaukas can throw, but he is hit and spilled. Number 61, Mike Walter, came in to throw Zaukas for a big loss.
And that's one of those things, again, they knew pass. They didn't want to give him time, so they blew. They blew with the middle linebacker, the outside linebacker, and number 61, Mike Walter, got through, made the tackle, and now they're back in pretty tough situation with about 3rd and long.
We'll call it 3rd and 21. The ball back in the 15, a loss of 11. Mike Walter, the middle guard, coming up for that one. 3rd down. In motion goes Alston. Zaukas on the pitch to Whitfield. The 20. Up to about the 23, way shy of the 1st down. It'll bring up a 4th down, and New Rochelle will have to punt the football away.
Once again, this is it. Just keep knocking them, keeping them down deep. New Rochelle all afternoon thus far has been down deep in their own territory, unable to make that normal mistake, because if you make it, Iona gets that ball deep. Now they have to punt. Can they get the ball out past the 50, down around the 30, where they can start getting Iona in its own backyard?
And back deep, number 35 is Angelo Mandarano, who is a junior. He's 5'8", 170 pounds. Mike Ferry is also back with him, and Craig Green will punt the ball for New Rochelle.
Wow.
And we'll have a flag on that for roughing the kicker, as it's taken by Mike Ferry. And that one's going to be called back. And instead of getting the ball in New Rochelle territory, New Rochelle is going to maintain possession.
They are, and that was one of, for those who are watching that one, it looked like they got a little piece of the ball. The ball went through their arms, but they touched the kicker. You can't touch the kicker, and while they touch the kicker, it is roughing of the kicker.
And it's going to be a first down for New Rochelle. The first mistake of the ball game by Iona Prep.
15-yard penalty will give New Rochelle a first down.
15 yards and a first down.
For New Rochelle on their own 40.
So now New Rochelle with the ball will have a 1st and 10 on their own 40. Frank Alston goes wide to the right. The running backs are McLean and Whitfield in an I formation. The quarterback, Glenn Zaukas. And Zaukas looking deep for Alston. Incomplete.
Center for Frank Alston.
Mike Manueli and Tim McCullough were back there to recover.
That's one of the things that you can see by, in terms of a personality trait, Glenn Austin likes to go now. He wants to put those 6 points up on the clock, and of course he's been doing it all year. He's thrown for 15 touchdown passes, but you can see that time he wasn't looking for the short stuff, pick away, go it. He was going all the way for the TD.
Aubrey, he throws a heck of a football.
He sure does.
2nd down and 10 from the 40. That's Alston going in motion, number 22 to the right.
Offside.
A flag on the play. And out of bounds goes Zaukas.
By number 71, Jim Daly. Eject the final.
And let's check the penalty. You called it offside, Orb.
Yes, I did. I called it offsides on the deep man. They may call it in motion or something of that nature. Glenn Zaukas did something that time, which young quarterbacks will have to learn to do. He had the ball. He could see where his men weren't in position, so he ran out of bounds on a 5-yard or about 6-yard loss. In that position, he probably should have thrown that ball deep and out of bounds, and then they could have taken the 5-yard penalty, and then it would have been the same down. So in essence, he lost about 8 yards on the play.
3rd down coming up and 18 yards right now for New Rochelle. They're back in their own 33. Again, Alston in motion. And Zaukas on the handoff to Calvin Whitfield up to about the 37, and that is it. And New Rochelle will have to punt it away again. So this Iona defense has done a heck of a job in containing this very potent New Rochelle offense. With 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this first quarter, we remain scoreless. We are scoreless in the first quarter. 2 minutes, 33 seconds remaining, and New Rochelle has to punt. Big crowd on hand to see this Thanksgiving Day get-together between New Rochelle and Iona Prep. And Craig Green to punt. Back deep, Mike Ferry and Angelo Mandarano on a 4th down.
Penalty marker on the play.
Penalty marker on the play, and I believe it's going to be against Iona on the defense, 5 yards.
5-yard penalty.
But it will still bring up a 4th down and about 8 on the offside call.
You'll note in this one, Spencer, he's kicking actually in a puddle of mud. It's a pretty tough situation. If that ball's either side, maybe a problem.
Line of scrimmage is zone 43. He can really boot him, and he gets off quite a beauty.
Good kick.
That's Mike Ferry on the 25, the 30, and that is it to about the 32-yard line. Weldon Turner, number 53, is the man who makes the stop, and Iona Prep will put the ball into play, 1st and 10 from its own 32-yard line.
Ferry, for the first time, will be in dry situation, dry territory, so he'll get a chance to have his men make crisp cuts on his passing. It appears that we're going to see a great deal of passing this whole game.
It appears that we are seeing something we did not expect to see appear. The sun is shining here in Mount Vernon. This is Brian Cleary.
Oh, good hit.
And hit and spill back on the 27-yard line. And number 33, Rick Hairston.
Number 53 in on that tackle. Again,
4-yard loss on a play.
Weldon Turner, one of those kind of guys that we're kind of moving our little movements around here. We're up in a press box with a lot of papers moving around.
2nd and 15, back on the 27-yard line. Pope going wide to the right. Cleary sees him. And now gets up to about the 28, and he is spun out of bounds. Weldon Turner was the first man to make the hit, number 53, and Turner got help by Mark D. Benedictus, a 6', 170-pound senior.
All right.
So it's a 3rd down coming up, and the ball now on the 28-yard line, so it's 3rd and 14. And Cleary can throw, as we've mentioned. High formation. Bill Sweeney, 22, Angelo Mandanero are the running backs, and a timeout called right here by Iona with 1:18 left in this first quarter.
Hank Margada called that, the coach. He was looking at the situation. He felt that Cleary wasn't reading what he wanted him to do at that time, so he, as a good high school coach, pro things, he called him over there. Now they're going to get it straight. And I'm sure what he's saying to him is, what kind of reads are you getting from your ends, Pope, when he comes back? Actually, that time, on the last play that we saw, Pope went down, made a little outside move, and then had his man beat. However, Cleary just wasn't in a position to throw the ball. So this could be a big play right here.
Hank Margada, the offensive coordinator, John Slocum with his back to you. Here's the 3rd down play for the Iona Gales. Scoreless ball game, big crowd on hand. Chris Pope goes wide to the right. Mandanero and Sweeney are the running backs. The deep back, Mandanero. Cleary on the fake, and a good one, but he is racked up. Number 63, Jim Kid Monroe, was there to make the stop, and that Kid is not a nickname. That is actually his middle name, Jim Monroe. His dad was a boxer, and he gave him the middle name of Kid.
Well, he hit like a kid that time, I'll tell you. I've heard a lot of them, Kid Gavilan and all the other ones, but Jim hit that time.
Rick Versace will punt on 4th down, and Frankie Alston back deep in single safety. 42 seconds left in the quarter. And Versace's punt is a short one, goes out of bounds at about the 41-yard line, so just a 16-yard punt. And for the first time today, New Rochelle will take over the ball in excellent field position.
Yes, Benson, that's one of the things they've been looking for and waiting for. A good team like this, you can't put them in scoring territory too early. New Rochelle caucus coming up, looking at the field. He asked that time Cal Whitfield if he could do it to the outside. So again, it looks like Frank Austin and Steve McLean, Al Whitfield will be running the ball early, passing on about that 2nd down.
38 seconds left in this first quarter. Glenn Zaukas, the quarterback, on the pitch out to Cal Whitfield. And Whitfield inside the 40 down to about the 37-yard line for a pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd and 7 coming up now for New Rochelle.
Pick up a 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
Whitfield missed 4 games this season with a bad ankle, but he has come back from that, and he's a man that Paul Ryan really needs in that backfield.
Talked to him earlier, and he said he's ready. He's got a little extra tape on the ankle, but he'll move.
Don Casale, the left end. In fact, Don, now with New Rochelle, he went to Iona Prep last year and caught quite a few passes in this ball game. The pitch out to Whitfield. And Whitfield down to about the 35-yard line.
Calvin Whitfield on the carry.
And a pickup of 2, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 4.
Jim Saris 5'9", 165-pounder, really hit that time. Whitfield had a chance to make that little extra yardage, but because of his hit.
That's going to be the final play of the first quarter, so that's the end of the first quarter here at Mount Vernon Memorial Field with a score: New Rochelle High School nothing and Iona Prep nothing. Back in as we start the second quarter. That's Calvin Whitfield going around the right side.
21, Calvin Whitfield.
Spence, that time Calvin hit some dry grass out there on the outside, and he tipped down that sideline, and old Levi Jackson of Yale fashion, making the first down. That was a good move.
Down to about the 32-yard line. First down it is for New Rochelle High School, their deepest penetration of the ball game.
By Whitfield, and a first down for New Rochelle.
Steve McLean, 31, 41, Calvin Whitfield are the running backs. And on the pitch out to Whitfield. The 30 hurdles a runner down to about the 27, and flags go down.
Stop by McMillan.
As Whitfield picked up about 5 yards.
Looks like the penalties against New Rochelle.
The penalty marker on that last play.
Might be for a similar play we saw in a professional football game last weekend, hurdling.
Yes.
That's a 15-yarder.
15-yard penalty against New Rochelle. Clipping.
No, it's for a clip on New Rochelle High School. So New Rochelle now back
37-yard line.
on the 37-yard line, where they have second down coming up. Make it first down still.
For New Rochelle on the Iona, 37.
And they've got a long way to go for a first down. Zaukas is in trouble, gets away, throws down. Complete. What a reception. Glad Zaukas throwing downfield, complete to Frankie Alston down at about the 15-yard line.
Well, now that's what you saw. You saw Zaukas at his best. He got out there, he went to the side, he moved his man out of the position so that he could get the ball, and he drilled it on the run. Good move on the part of a quarterback.
Second down now, and that big pickup of 22 yards and about 3 from the 15-yard line. On the pitch to Calvin Whitfield. Gets a block for McLean, but not enough. And hit just about at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to bring up third down.
Good reaction on the part of that whole right side of Iona's line. I'm referring to Daly, Kelly, and Walter.
Mike Walter,